Hey guys, I was about to do some flying here today on my lunch break, and as I was doing my pre-flight checklist, I decided, hey, I got the gear, I got my cameras that I normally fly with anyway, so I figured, what the hell, it's a good opportunity to talk about what's in your bag. I get that question a lot as far as my go bag, my survival bag, what do I carry? So for me, being more of an extreme athlete type of thing, I like to be well versed in a lot of different skills because it helps me with tactics and weapons manipulation. So I like to fly, I like to mountain bike, I like to kayak, I like to do a lot of different things. Ice climb, mountain climb, so you may be one of those people, or you may be just looking for a go bag or a survival bag to keep in your house, your car, or on your person. And so I'll go through some simple things that I carry in different scenarios. So the first thing is the bag, okay? What's in the bag? So what I'm working with right now is Outdoor Research. This is their backsack line, the series of bags for Summit bags. This is a pretty cool idea. I love this bag. I wish I had it in the military. This thing is a dry storage bag, but it's always doing two things for you. It's got my dry storage, which some of you guys may be familiar with some of their standard roll down dry compression sacks. They basically took that dry storage stack and made it a backpack utility. So now I can have a way to carry that dry storage. It's waterproof. It's got some great survival abilities. It's got a little whistle on here. Obviously you can see where that can come into play. It's bright orange for me if I'm laying down at the end of this hill because I don't know what's going to happen in about 10 minutes. Somebody needs to fly over or drive by, hopefully they can see this, plus my big green fluorescent parachute, which is why I choose that color when I'm out here by myself. You got to have those key survival points. Obviously we need to have water capabilities or water finding capabilities. We have to have fire starting capabilities, shelter capabilities, signaling, and then we have what I call on the move and mindset. Okay, we got to have mindset, and of course aid in case you hurt yourself. So we'll go into that. Water capabilities. What do I have? Well, I've got a Source 0.75 liter small bladder in my OR bag. Now this bag will actually compress down and I'll put it inside my paragliding or my speed flying rig. So I always have it with me. It's lightweight, doesn't take much. But also what I have for water capability, something I'm testing right now, is oral IV. Oral IV is pretty cool, something I'm just now getting into. There's lots of information on the internet right now, but it's basically taking an IV in this small thing with 12 ounces of water. Haven't thoroughly tested it yet, but I'll tell you so far I like what I see. So that's pretty much it for water for me out here right now because I've pretty much not far out of town, so people know where I'm at. The next thing you need is fire starting capability. I've got some dryer lint that I pull out of my dryer. It's great kindling, and I've got a magnesium fire starter here. Pretty much all I need to get a spark going. But obviously if you're out hunting or you're doing some long range mountaineering or alpining or something, you always want to have good fire starting capabilities because that is extremely important in cold weather environments. I'm out here in the Rockies right now. I got a desertish environment behind me. It's about 85 degrees out, but at night it will drop down very cold. So I want to make sure I have that. Shelter. What do I need for shelter? Okay, so for shelter I've got a couple different things. I always have an extra layer of clothing, okay? In this food storage compressed bag, this vacuum sealed bag, I've got a pair of Arc'teryx Rampart pants. They're lightweight, adds another layer of the sun so it protects my body, but also at night it does protect, one more layer of clothing that I can put on if it does drop down. I've also got an Arc'teryx wool cap in here, again for those cold climates. In this bag I've got an Arc'teryx LT jacket in here. It's a lighter gray color, so it'll keep me cooler. Right now I'm wearing black because I like to stick out like a sore thumb on these sandy mountainsides if something did happen to me if I got hurt. Plus I've got my fluorescent green canopy, and I've got my orange OR Summit bag. So again, lots of good colors there to help me get identified in a signaling sense. And but again, this layer of jacket will keep me warm at night. It's windproof, it's waterproof, and it'll keep me warm. Now also inside of this bag I've got an emergency blanket, Mylar, small emergency blanket. You've probably seen them in a lot of different survival kits. A lot of people think they're not really used for anything. You can check out some online stuff. You can see Cody Lundeen, Dual Survivor, great show, great guy. He's got a technique where you can use that as a reflector for heat at night on a lean-to for fire. So you can get a 30-degree environment up to 70 degrees if you use this properly. So I just keep it in there. It's an extra tool in the toolbox for me. Also shelter, I got a hat that I always keep with me. It's my old Recon Boonie hat. Protects me from the sun, just another layer on my head. I've also got some 550 cord in here that I can string out. There's the small strand inside if I need to use that. So it's good to have extra cord on me for shelter building abilities. Also, I've got dental floss. Now, dental floss is probably one of the best field expedient tying tools that you can have. What I did is basically took this 100-yard dental floss. Obviously, it's wax nylon coated. It's durable. It's really, I mean, it's really hard to break this. And I keep a needle inside of here, so I can sew with it. I can bind logs or sticks together for shelter. So again, I put that in the shelter category. The last thing that you need for shelter is a good knife. Now, I always carry my my pocket knife here. I always have one on me, but in a survival sense, it's good to have a fixed tool. Okay, this is a compromise blade for me. This Surefire fixed blade. Not something I can really hammer with, but I can find another tool to hammer with it or to pound the blade down into something. So it's not the standard 6 to 9 inch blade that I'd like to have for a good survival situation, like if I was going out in the mountains doing some mountaineering or something, or camping. But for me, lightweight, it doesn't add a lot of weight to me when I'm flying or mountain biking or doing any other of my extreme sports. All right, let's talk about signaling. Signaling, I've got a couple items here. The first thing, signal mirror. Everybody should have one in their survival kit. This thing can be seen from miles and miles and miles away. So I've got my survival kit inside of my fire starting kit. Obviously, you can use a fire to signal as well. We all know that. The other 3 things that I carry for signal, actually 4 things, including my gun here. It's a Surefire LX2 flashlight. Now, this is one of the top rated survival flashlights there is out there. It's got a 15 lumen low end, if I press it in halfway, and it's got a 200 on the high end. So 15 is great for around a campsite or just finding my way at night, or if I need that 200 to blast out and see where I'm going, or actually use as a defensive tool or a signaling tool, I can use it as that. So great piece of gear. Strobe-Light. Always carry a Strobe-Light on me. I've got this Adventure Light Strobe-Light that I've got a green setting on this one, but I've also got an IR setting. If you're law enforcement or military, you can acquire these. Great piece of gear for FLIR, infrared at night, helicopters, or people looking for you with night vision, or that green's going to really stand out. It's a different color. So, and I always tell people what kind of signaling devices and gear that I have so they know what exactly to look for. The next thing is the move, okay, or on the move, what I call it. You got to have navigation equipment. You got to know where you're at. So I carry a few things. Obviously, I have a map of the area that I'm operating in. I always keep it on me, folded up. I always have rubber bands on everything, as you can see, because I can always use those for something else in the shelter, or who knows, medical maybe. I've got my Silva compass in here. I also have, let's see, I never leave home without my Garmin, and my Suunto. I've got a Suunto core on. Barometric pressure, temperature, it tells me what the weather's doing, so it kind of helps me as I'm on the move. So it's always good to have navigation equipment, okay? All right, medical. Always keep a blowout kit on me in anything that I'm doing. Now this is a simple one. I've got this in an SOE rig here. I basically have my hemostatic agent. I've got a combat gauze. I've got a pack and a wrap tourniquet. I've also added a couple other things, ARS decompression needle and a scalpel in here. So that will get me, well, to the hospital, really, to keep me alive for a little while. If I go out here and I fall, hit a rock or something, I bust a leg open, compound fracture or something, I've got something else, and I've got my tourniquet in here too. So, great piece of gear. All right, guys, the last thing, have a plan. That goes with the mindset, obviously, but make sure you're prepared. It's, again, fun to make a kit that fits your lifestyle. I can make it in different ways. I basically have 3 different survival kits right here. I've got my personal rig that I can carry on me for just hiking or going out with the family or whatever. If I'm going motocross or mountain biking or something else where I need a little bit more, I can carry, like I carry this Tier Tactical Assaulters pack and everything fits in there. Got a bigger water bladder for a little bit longer hauls. And then I've got my OR bag, which compresses down and goes with me pretty much almost everywhere. It's in my vehicle. It's ready to grab at the house. So again, easy to plan, easy to put together. Have a plan. 3 people right now know where I'm at out here because I'm by myself. I've got my wife and 2 law enforcement buddies that know where I'm at. They know exactly what time I'm going to be here. They know what time I'm going to leave here when I call them and tell them I'm good. They know what vehicle I'm in. So if it's an aerial rescue or they're looking for me, they can find the vehicle easily and they can say, hey, he's in this area. He's obviously still here. So that makes the search a little bit easier. So timelines, what gear you have. They also know the gear. All this my buddies know. They're just as prepared as I am, so it's good to have people like-minded. And they know that they can tell the rescue teams that, hey, he can sustain for a little bit longer so they can build a better plan to come rescue me. So again, guys, build your kit for your lifestyle and your survival needs. Make sure you got those categories, okay? Make sure you got that water, fire, shelter, signal, aid, and food if you need it. Make sure you can navigate and you know the skills how to navigate to get yourself out of a situation. Be prepared, keep a good mindset, keep thinking, and live the dream, man.